You're listening to Edging the
Welcome to episode 13 of Edging the Truth. Thank you for joining us yet again for some hijinks about superstitions and conspiracy theories and who knows what else. Today, our topic is Friday the 13th. This episode will be released on May 2nd, just prior to our first May 13th, Friday the 13th of the year. So we thought we'd make Friday the 13th our topic. There's a lot to unpack in the history of Friday the 13th, whether we're talking about Bible stories or we're talking about witches or we're talking about any one of a number of things that happened from 1400 forward. We as we normally do, we watch a variety of videos and read some articles, and certainly there's a lot of conjecture about where Friday the 13th comes from. Some years, have two, some years have one. As One Lung is pointing out, this is the only Friday the 13th of the year. Why don't we start by seeing how everybody kind of related to all of our details? I've got pages and pages of notes. Brian, why don't we start with you? What of these many origin stories for Friday the 13th, which one did you connect with the most?
So in 1976, a young Jason Voorhees drowned in a river or in a lake as I believe it was a lake, Camp Crystal Lake, and then he rose from the dead and murdered a bunch of teenagers. And then after many years of doing that, he went to space for some reason. Oh wait, is that this Friday the 13th? Is that
a different Friday the 13th?
Oh,
I think you did some different. I might have.
My bad. I thought for sure. I thought it was weird that we were doing a whole episode on a movie franchise, and I'm like, that doesn't seem like conspiracy, but okay, here we are. No, so Friday the 13th in general. So yeah, there is a lot of it's just this really dips into religion. We dipped into numerology on this one. Like we were all over the map. There, like you can go down a lot of different Friday the 13th rabbit holes on. Well, it's this because of this, and it's because of this. So I understand, especially why we're starting off like this, because it's like, which one of these do I believe? Because when I grew up, I was every sports team I was ever on. I was either two numbers. I was either 13 or 69. Every single.
Of course, you were.
Yes, every single sports team. Every football was 69. Typical. Pretty much everything else was 13. So, so 13 has always been a lucky number for me. I've never thought of it as a bad number. It's one of the numbers I always play on the roulette wheel. It's always in my megabucks pick. It's I'm always 13. So like because maybe I leaned into it that it was a lucky number because so many people avoided it as not a lucky number. I mean, there's old hotels that don't have the number 13. They don't have a 13th floor. Even if it's a 20-floor hotel, we just start calling it, this. So it's just superstition really abounds on 13 being bad luck. Mine was my favorite origin, because like I said, we go down religious rabbit holes, all these kind of things. My favorite was the Loki, the Norse legend. Origin, as if we go back to the Norwegian roots of the familia of the Norwegians in the family going back.
That's the Norse Irish.
Dude, you guys, did I not tell you this story that we were kicked out of one country to the other country and then kicked out of that country? Everything I'm Irish. If anything, I'm more Norwegian. We were kicked out of the one country. We went to Norway, we were kicked out of there, and moved to Canada, and then came to the U.S. through Canada.
But you don't have a Norwegian drinking song, so...
It's Irish. It's Irish, yes.
Yeah, do I need to rank those countries?
There's roots. You don't want a 23andMe this bitch, is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't want a 23andMe this bitch. But the fact of a lot of a thing about how it's unlucky is from Norse legends, where there was 12 gods sharing a meal, and the 13th one that showed up was Loki, and he somehow talked one god into killing another god, which, goddamn, that's some persuasion right there. And so they always say that's unlucky. So if the 13th person shows up at your party, somebody's going to die. And that's like always it. So and I even kind of look back at some of the Norwegian stuff and like that. Yeah, it is a thing that you don't, apparently you don't invite more like a 13. It has to be like 12 or 14, and moreover, you don't do even numbers. You don't invite 7 people. You always have to invite an even number of people. Like that's kind of a Norwegian thing. It's like one of those weird cultural things. I think it's more old timey back in the day, but like I said, people get really superstitious on stuff, really. And I think we've all seen where things line up, where it's like certain things happen on certain days and things like that. Like I think you said earlier, some guy named Friday who dies on a Friday.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
But it's things like that that just like sometimes, man, it's just things just happen because even everything that we say and do is an arbitrary construct. You know what I'm saying? The 12-month calendar, all of these things, all of this is shifted. That the Friday the 13th, like I said, the number system of 13 is an arbitrary system established by us. So it's just, it's not like we discovered on tablets numbers and all that stuff. It was a construction of man to make this stuff. So it's not like it exists in nature. And even then, the other 13 that I like besides the Norse one was the fact that it used to be a lunar calendar, not this calendar, the Roman calendar, whatever calendar we're on right now. I can't remember Greco-Roman, what we call it. And I was like, oh, and they cut back from that 13 calendar to a 12-month because the 13 calendar was also like a female goddess was the 13th month, and it was a whole patriarchy thing. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense why we went to that instead of a 13. Because we could have a 13-month calendar right now. That wouldn't make any difference. You know what I'm saying? Like spring would be spring, summer would be summer, fall would be fall. It's just the days would shift a little bit, but it's arbitrary. It's arbitrary. But as for Friday the 13th in general, it is, like I said, it's a weird kind of superstition. I'm not a superstitious person about Friday the 13th. If anything, that's the day I buy lottery tickets because, like I said, that's a lucky day for me. And it's just one of those just fun, like things like that. Under ladders, black cats, that kind of stuff. I've just never been that kind of believing that kind of thing. Step on a crack mother's back. You know the vibes.
Yeah. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Have you ever had anything lucky happen on the 13th?
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think I believe I won. It was a coverall bingo one day, $1,000 on Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that here in a little bit too.
But, yeah,
I have a sibling born on a Friday the 13th and all that stuff.
In the context of the episode, yeah, I am not a believer in Friday the 13th. I am a believer of good luck and bad luck because goddamn, I've seen it go either way. But I'm not a firm believer in this sort of like cursed arbitrary calendar numbered day. Because, man, if anything, I've had a lot of Monday the whatevers that were a lot shittier than any Friday the 13th I've ever had. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Well, we talked earlier, there's a ton of Christian overtones, obviously, with this history story. And you said that's one of the things that maybe you wanted to talk about, the origins related to whether it's the Jesus mythology or Adam and Eve, or there's tons of things related to Christianity. What poked you with relationship to that?
I think for me, it's the two pieces. It's the Last Supper, being that there was 13 people at the Last Supper, and then at the crucifixion there were 13 people at the crucifixion. It's just the idea, and I think that for me, it kind of drew something like as a bigger mindset. It's like wherever we're gonna look for 13, we're gonna see 13, right? I kind of take this mentality like when I buy a new car, like. I swear before I buy the new car, I don't see many of those cars on the road. But as soon as I buy that car, I see them everywhere. And it's because you're looking for it, right? So I think this kind of goes the same way with this. It's like, oh, that was 13. Oh, that was 13. Oh, that was 13. And you kind of just start mentally drawing little lines to 13. It's like, oh, it's good or it's bad. Or, in Brian's case, it's like every time 13 comes up, it's a good thing. But it's because he's looked for that 13. It's like, oh, I've seen that pattern. You create these mental patterns, but they're really just arbitrary, right? So for me, I don't really believe in the luck of the Friday the 13th or the number of the 13th or anything like that. I really think it's just patterns that the human mind puts together and says, oh, there was 13 there. There was 13 there. Oh, gets like the Good Friday thing. That would be a good Friday the 13th thing, you know? And here we are. Now we're like, oh, it's a bad thing. We got hotels that don't have the 13th floor. We got, no 13th rooms. You have haunted houses named like the 13th door. I mean, you go through and 13 is synonymously evil now, right? So, being that it's synonymous with evil, people think, oh, it's a bad thing. But honestly, 13 started out as a good thing, you know? So, and with Brian saying that it's good luck for him. And whether or not you believe in luck or not, I definitely do believe in luck per se. I don't necessarily know that it has anything numerically related at all. So, but I think that it's interesting that, you know, you see certain numbers pop up a lot in our world, and I think that may be something that is more related, almost scientifically, like whether it's like the number seven pops up a lot in a lot of different things. Number 9, and you see a lot of odd numbers, which is funny that Brian's like, you know, they always do things in even numbers because a lot of the numbers that pop up a lot in our world are odd numbers. So I personally, I think that 13th isn't good or bad, but I think that the coincidences and the patterns that we see are just kind of mentally drawn. You have somebody that points them out, and then you kind of get believers to kind of follow that pattern that person's created and sees, and then they're like, oh, I see that too. And then, you know, they start seeing more and more, and they kind of just start adding to it, and it kind of grows into this huge thing. It's like, oh, the number 13, you know?
Well, when you think about how many, you know, and for how many now thousands of years there have been, you know, believers in Christianity, if you're talking about, you know, the Last Supper, you've got the crucifixion happening on Friday the 13th. You've got the Templars getting, you know, arrested on Friday the 13th. You've got Cain supposedly killing Abel on a Friday the 13th.
Which I don't know how.
Right, how could we know that? Right.
Like,
Yes, we have supposedly Eve tempting Adam on Friday the 13th.
were we even using a calendar on the Friday
all
the
these
13th?
before
then?
the establishment of a calendar.
Yeah,
There was no
exactly, like,
calendar.
None of this matters if you're a believer, right? And again,
Exactly.
it all feeds into the, if this gets propagated 1,000 years ago, which a lot of what the research we did says that this doesn't really become a phenomenon as Friday the 13th as a singular thing. Fridays and 13th being bad, that certainly goes back a ways, but it really doesn't seem to happen until like the 1600s that Friday the 13th as a day becomes a thing that's bad.
Now, what's interesting though that I have noticed is that when Friday the 13th pops up, so you can look at this next one coming up or any of the past ones that come up. If something bad happens on that day, people direct that to, oh, it's Friday the 13th. That's why.
Imprints.
You know, and it's really funny, but I've worked customer service over the years, and you know, when especially on like in a call center environment, you get the weirdest calls on Friday the 13th and on full moon days. I mean, there's totally different things, but I mean, like, it's like it drags people into this mentality because of the day and what it all has. So it's really interesting.
You wake up that morning and you're predisposed for things to be weird. I mean, Fudge, you're going to be selling. You have the day off on Friday, so you won't be selling cars on Friday the 13th. Which of these did you like? Origin concepts did you respond with, or you did you feel like there was anything that we haven't met, because there's definitely more versions of this story that we haven't mentioned, or did the Judas story or the Last Supper story or any one of these other stories just feel like the one that resonated with you?
Well, yeah, I grew up a good little Catholic boy, so
Yeah,
definitely heard all of this stuff before, so obviously it's fake as shit. I think the thing I connected with most, was the religious stuff, but the thing I thought was the most interesting was like the numbers that are considered lucky or unlucky, like across the world, like the 13, like in Italy it's 17, China it's the number 4, Japan it's the number 9. Other than that, yeah, I mean, I get it. I just think Friday the 13th is just it's a social construct. Like Brian said, it's a scary movie.
Jason Voorhees.
Even though that was a lame joke, but I'll give it to you.
Clip it.
There's not a lot I can pull for reference material on this here. I only got what's out of the lexicon.
Oh shit. But yeah, it's interesting. I'd call myself a pretty unlucky person, so I do believe in being lucky and unlucky. So I see it from that standpoint, but I don't know. It's cool, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's also funny, I think, too, that like there's a lot of non-religious sort of implications, or at least non-Christian religious implications. Like I think that it's funny that the death card is the 13th card in the tarot, for example. I think that was one that kind of went, oh well, there's another strand of people and belief systems that can buy into this, and then. I just love the idea that like Columbus supposedly discovered America on a Friday the 13th, but they changed the official record to be the 12th, so it wouldn't be that.
What's interesting though about the tarot cards is that I think tarot cards were invented well after like the whole Christian.
Oh no, without a doubt.
They kind of imprinted that idea into the tarot cards.
No, absolutely. And it's the same with the Norse mythology. I think at the end of the day, the way I look at all of these origin stories and why here, almost 2,000 years later, at the very least, we're still talking about it. And there's still, according to some polls, 8 to 10% of people in America that do have a legitimate fear of Friday the 13th. So is that because of Christianity? I don't think that's enough to explain it. I think it's because it's from all these disparate places. And so the sum total of people that are into tarot and all that stuff, and people that are into paganism, and people that are into Norse mythology, and people that makes that sum total of people. You guys like my hand gestures.
Yeah, no. There is also like the 13 and like 12, like 12 supposedly being the perfect number because it's used for like the months and stuff like that. And then, but then there are some cultures that think, 13 is lucky, especially one of Brian's favorite, the baker's dozen, which is 13.
14 if you go to a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had a band called Triskaideka Band. It was a 13-piece band. I leaned hard into, using that concept. Triskaidekaphobia, as one lung was putting in the
coming
chat.
out here with your 13 pieces.
That's your fear of the number 13. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a 13 because that's what Triskaideka means, right? It's Tris is 10, the Chi is and Deca is, or sorry, I got it backwards. Tris is 3, Chi is and, Deca is 10. So it's 3 and 10 phobia.
Triskaideka at the ice cream shop the other day.
Really? Please tell me that's true. That's awesome.
For real.
Wow. See, that's someone who's leaning real hard into
is that HIPAA?
Oh my god, you don't even know some of the names I got coming in here, man.
You definitely need to keep. I mean, that's it. I feel like that's an Instagram.
Spelled it with a BRIEJETHET. EGHT. She had 2 EGHs in there.
Who?
An IGH and an EGH.
Well,
can you spell that again?
BRIGHTEGHT. Bridget.
Bridged it.
I'm gonna have to put that on the screen just to visualize it.
Yeah. That's what I'm interviewing. That's America out there.
Triskaideka.
A lot of weird names out there.
Good luck to you, Triskaideka, out there.
You did not get hired by the ice cream store. I'm sorry, Triskaideka. You did not make it at the Cream Shack.
I love it.
So moving to transitioning.
Yes. So as we've kind of looked at the variety of origins, all this, and we're starting to kind of, we're letting our cats out of the bag a little early with how we believe about all this stuff. But I think it's not much of a surprise that this isn't a hugely superstitious crew, although maybe a little bit. I know I am. To a little degree. Yeah, I think it really depends on the context. And as I mentioned earlier, like especially with Friday the 13th, I have a sister that was born on Friday, May 13th. Her birthday will be next Friday, May 13th. We used to joke when she was a little kid that she was born on the Friday the 13th and she was a devil child, and that used to piss her off so good. And obviously, we didn't believe that, but then of course, you have those things like the movies that help reiterate the kind of concept of it in the back of your brain as a kid or whatever. Even if you haven't even seen those movies, they're scary movies. What was your relationship with superstitions and maybe Friday the 13th or lucky and unlucky numbers growing up, Brian? Was that something in your, like, was your dad a dude who picked the same number on the lotto every week like you do now? Or is it, was that just something that you
No,
found
honestly,
yourself?
I can't even tell you what my parents' like superstitions and stuff are. That's, I guess, how little it ever came up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think of anything that they were ever like, the pinch of salt over the shoulder, don't do this, don't do that, that's unlucky. Like, no, I
Step
don't
on
remember.
a crack,
No crack back, nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just never came up.
Well,
Honestly,
I bet
but-
Fudge as a Catholic boy definitely had some. Like, you can't walk.
I was a Catholic
front
boy
of the
too,
altar.
though. I was in the Catholic. We was
Step on a crack was a big one. For me, I like relate it to like sports, like playing baseball. It's like don't touch the line. Always step over it, or if your pitcher's got a no hitter working. Don't you dare say the word no hitter.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going up to the plate, tap your shoes. You have to tap it 2 times or something like that, or tap the plate. I feel like baseball of the sports is like the most superstitious, like routine type thing. But yeah, I don't know about superstitions. It's like, stop touching yourself, you're gonna go blind. Well, look at how thick these glasses are. Other than that, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I could say I was raised more religious than superstitious. I guess is that its own kind of superstition?
Well, I think they are different. I think fear of God and fear of something,
So my aunt was a nun.
Yeah.
We were throwing down hard on the.
Yeah.
So.
Did you, Brian? Did you as a a football player? Did you ever, like, was it the same? You had to wear the same knee pads, or did you have any of those kind of weird baseball things, like you had a ritual
Never washed
before
my
the game
socks
or
anything like that?
Yeah,
No?
yeah. What about you, One Lung? Do you have a pregame ritual for when you're darting? Do you use the same darts you won a tournament with, or something?
Yeah,
like
of course.
that?
I mean, yeah, we use. That's just because I'm comfortable with those darts. But one superstition I have is before I throw on the board, I tap the board twice on the side of the board. It's just something I do. Just like I put my money in, I select the game and just tap it twice and then throw. And after I win a match, I do the same thing. It's just, I don't know why. I've done it for forever.
I know why. You tap it twice, get a sly little double bowl in to start the game, and then
go.
Yeah. Get yourself. Oh, I don't know how that happened. We'll just play.
No, but there's other superstitions that like I grew up with. Just like for me, my lucky number is 7. I was born on July 7th, so 7/7. I turned 21 on 7/7/07. So it was just like
That's pretty
that
cool.
number popped up all the time in my life. And so then the first time that I went to Vegas, me and my buddy Gary Cruz, we were in the Riviera, which is actually a casino that doesn't exist anymore. It's across from where the Westgate is, Brian, or where it used to be. Anyway, and we were going by the roulette table, and Gary's like, "What's your favorite number?" I'm like, 7. And we threw one $5 chip on the 7, and we won. And it was just like an amazing moment. It's just like, man, I love the number 7. It's my number. So, yeah.
And in the same way, it's like you just reinforced your own thing, right? You won with the 7. Like, of course, that's the reason I'm winning, because I'm investing in my lucky number.
Yeah. And then when I was in debate in high school, after we get home from a debate and we won, we'd always go to the same restaurant, and that was just our. If we didn't do that the next debate, we did terrible. So after we did debate, we went to this restaurant. So
yeah, it's always when something's out of place, right? It's like you do something, maybe you don't even think about the fact that you do it routinely, and then you out of whatever reason you don't do it, and then something bad happens. You go, oh, it's because I didn't do the thing that I should have been doing routinely, even though I didn't place that meaning on it before. I am now, right? Like, I forgot.
I also feel the same way about good luck charms.
Yeah, totally.
Like I have certain things that I wear and that I have when I'm playing darts that are kind of my good luck charms, and so that's another thing. Also, like when we're playing Call of Duty, when Carmen Morales is in the chat with us, I do way better. She's my good luck charm. So
we have all seen that happen.
Yeah.
It's absolutely.
I hit my kill records twice with her. So
yeah. I've always been fascinated with like numerology and superstitions and stuff, and certainly I think as a kid, you know, I don't really remember too many. I'm kind of with Brian. I don't really remember being taught anything kind of superstitious. I think you learn. I learned about them in books. You know, you read about people that are superstitious, or you see people in movies that are superstitious, and now you kind of have that idea in your head of what superstitions are and how you respond to it and all that kind of stuff. Whether it's, you know, I mean, I think of Gremlins, the movie, you know, like the 3 rules is kind of like, it's bordering on superstitions. Yeah. Like they're bordering on superstitions.
In what time zone? Are these a Chinese
right.
animal?
Exactly right. Well, as Friday the 13th is closely approaching us, I guess we can kind of wrap this up by asking the question, will you be at all phased when Friday the 13th comes next Friday? Brian.
Well, let me throw a few 13 things out as we wind this to the close here. So, I mean, just like, I guess the few point, I think, like I said, is a lot of stuff. It's like people's lucky numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always the numbers. It's like, I think One Lung said it. It's if you recognize it's your number, you seek it out, you see it more often than you would if you weren't paying attention to it. Pop culture has really kind of sunk in a lot more of this kind of stuff about numbers and everything, especially because all the data is numbers and everything like that now. I mean, it's like we're living on a numbered world. And that's stuff for people. And then also OCD about numbers. You know what I'm saying? Some people have to do stuff. I mean, I like to eat stuff in things of 4. That's just always how I've been. Like, I need 4. If I'm taking cookies, I'm taking 4. You know what I'm saying? I need 1 for each side twice. So, but it's just stuff like that. You know, and like some of these things over the years, like the 13 people at the Last Supper, like you're telling me they didn't have no waiters, okay? Or like 13 people at the crucifixion, like did they count Jesus? Was he 14 or was he 13?
He was. Well, that's the other debate that either Judas or Jesus was 13, and either way you slice it,
13.
They both ended up pretty bad shape.
Yeah, the theory that either Judas hung himself or he pulled a Brian and kept eating 4 cookies and got fat.
But and my favorite is the one in the Dracula 2000 movie where Judas is Dracula. Like Jesus, that Judas killed himself and became Dracula.
Undead.
Like I always loved that one.
But even the movie Friday with Ice Cube was supposedly also on Friday the 13th, you know? So, like, and things turned out all right for him. That was a good day. I think he wrote a song about it.
Somebody got
and also, so basically the tie-in that we always want of the thing to where this relies to chicks that I banged. So I've dated more than one occult chick / Wiccan / crystal carrying hey ho hey. Friday the 13th for them was always a day for some sort of spell or some sort of ritual, some sort of ceremony,
and
usually involving sex in some way. Cock. So aces, and so it's. But I mean, But even all of that stuff, I feel like is like so much more of a modern construct because even as we looked at the history of Friday the 13th, it just kind of gained steam more and more, and now. It's so much in pop culture, especially in the last 30, 40 years, as we've gotten to this huge information age and pop culture stuff. And 27 movies? I don't know how many Friday the 13th are there now, but it's so much of a thing. And it's just like, it's just in the lexicon. It's in pop culture. And that's why it's like so. Also, Ace is the 13th card in the suit. That's always the thing, the high card. That's why people like it for blackjack. The Ace is you want that Ace for the winner. So that's a lucky 13.
I want that 8 because it's 11 and it's 21.
Well, I want to auto double down, but so to tie it all up, to put a bow on it, am I worried about this upcoming Friday the 13th? No, it will just be a Friday. I think I may have that day off work, so I am gonna do something. But
you even said too, some of these have been debunked. Like I saw one of the pieces of research that we did that, one of the long prevailing theories has been that the Friday the 13th was the day the Templars were were picked by the Pope and for execution, and that has now been, in one of the videos we watched, has been debunked as not being true. It was just a myth perpetuated for whatever reason, and then it makes you wonder, well, who perpetuated that myth and for what reason? That's always the interesting part of this to me. Fudge. Go ahead, Ron.
The older you go back, also, the less accurate I think it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody was really there to document how many folks were actually at the Last Supper. You know, even if somebody wrote it down later, I don't remember who I saw yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you were at the Last Supper. Oh, we missed, Bill was there. So, no, but like I said, you got to take all this with a grain of salt. And like I said, do I believe in some, like I said, numerology, lucky numbers, those kind of things? Like, I think that's a whole other subject. But for this arbitrary Friday the 13th, I'm more apt to read into something about just being on the 13th day of the month of every month, and not necessarily just on a particular Friday that shows up 1 to 3 times a year. So
nice. I think I feel like I'm with you on that. What about you, Fudge? Are you going to be I know you have the day off, so is that going to be like shelter in place day for you?
Yeah, I'm probably not going to move. I'm going to avoid all ladders, black cats, mirrors, anything. I don't know. Dude, like I'll fuck around and something bad probably will happen to me. Watch my daughter be born on Friday the 13th.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
Yeah. No, it'll be cool. I'm all right. I'm cool with it.
It'll be cool.
I get it. I get why people are all wacky about it, because it's like you said, it goes back to the 1600s. It's not just Christianity. There's Judaism, other different religions and cultures and countries have all their own superstitions and stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't know. Friday the 13th. I don't know if I'm like super into it's real as much as it's just like it's in people's heads. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I and we do know, I mean, again, the polling states that only 8 to 10% of people believe this. So it's pretty, there's 4 of us, maybe one of us is going to be into this. What about you, Wan Lung? Are you going to be doing anything different in your daily routine on Friday the 13th?
No, I'm not. I'm gonna do what I do every single day. I think one thing that I find that's very interesting is that, well, Brian is right that like in like common day, I think Friday the 13th is bigger nowadays, but I think it's bigger for an entertainment value nowadays rather than an actual fear of the day. And I think that as the World Wide Web gets even bigger and bigger, exactly. Yeah.
1999. The
Exactly.
World Wide Web.
No,
The
but
WWW series of tubes.
as we get bigger and knowledge grows and you see like how all these things are linked together, it's like maybe it's not as bad as what people thought it was to begin with, or maybe it's a good thing, and I think that as that grows, people realize that, okay, this is just, crazy. However, I do want to say, as a very young age, I did discover that stepping on the crack did not break your mom's back.
There's a lot of cracks out there.
I was very angry at her one day, and I stepped on it, and nothing happened. I was very mad. So.
I forgot one. It's like don't like do the cross-eyed trick, or they'll stay like that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. I was told that many times.
That is definitely a pop culture thing too.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, go ahead, Wan Lung.
I was just going to say, I think that as far as Friday the 13th goes, I think it's something fun. I think it gets in people's heads a little bit, and I think that it can bring some different people out, but I think it's because they're looking for that. It's like, if you go into a haunted house wanting to be scared, there's a good chance that you're going to get scared in the haunted house. You go in the haunted house thinking, oh, this is dumb, it's fake. There's a good chance it's dumb and fake, It's whatever you put into it and kind of put your mind around it. If I think that, the people that act, scared on Friday the 13th, because they want to be scared on Friday the 13th. It's like just there, unless they actually have the phobia, and then that is a mental disorder, and we should get them some care. So,
Yes, mental illness is no joke, and
We support mental illness here on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm much
Wait,
more
are we supposed to
believe.
support mental illness? I don't know if that was right.
Hey, I feel like I would believe much more likely that there's crazy behavior on the night of a full moon than on a Friday the 13th. I find that much more believable, and certainly I feel like there's more evidence to support that. Now, did Friday the 13th come about because of something related to that? Who knows?
maybe a Friday the 13th landed on a full moon, and
and they
people just
talked
kinda
about another
drew
one of
lines.
the pieces of this whole theory behind Friday the 13th is because of Apollo 13 and the disaster
What
of Apollo 13. Like, come on.
I mean, Freaky Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis,
That was 13.
Lindsay
I think it
Lohan.
was.
And the original, let's not forget.
Is that Haley Mills?
Haley Mills, yes. Yeah,
Shout out
I
Haley
think I'm
Mills.
with all you guys. I don't think I it's more like St. Patrick's Day than any other day to me. It's a fun day to like acknowledge. It's a fun day to maybe lightly participate in and
watch a scary movie.
Yeah, watch a scary. I always try to watch one of those Friday the 13th movies on Friday the 13th. I
I
remember
just
as a
watched Bridge
kid,
Forever. It's not great.
a lot of them are not great. I
It was
remember
okay.
there's a farce movie called Saturday the 14th that came out when I was probably like 10 or 12. That's with, I think, who's it? Richard Benjamin. It's a terrible farcical movie, and I almost always watch that on Saturday the 14th too. That's about as far as Friday the 13th ever gets me. So I feel like we're all going to just have regular days, other than the fact that I'll be wishing my sister a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Red Sister.
Sister
Yes,
birth.
yes.
Sup?
So as we finish,
Stop.
yeah, right. Stop. Can we clip that? Yeah, that's gonna be her birthday present. Is just Fudge going sup.
From our podcast to you. So,
Yes, well, as we finish our 13th episode, we are still trying to give away some shit, and we've got a mouse that is ready to be given away. Fudge gave the most impassioned rant at our audience last week. I can't believe it didn't spur somebody into action.
Yeah,
it
you're
is-
fucking cowards and you're fucking pussies. That's what you are. You just
Yeah,
don't
you heard
even. You don't even want this just pure, just speed that your fingers will have, and that your mouse and your cursor
Your
will
speed
have
fingers?
across your screen.
The clicking ability.
The clickability, no finger cramps, like Brian would get when he fingers his Colt chicks. Gaming grade optical mouse with customable RGB lighting. I mean, come on, go fuck yourselves. Call the voicemail line. Please take this off my hands. We'd
Yes,
love
please.
to give it to you.
Please,
Jesus Christ, you cowardly pussies.
Here is our voicemail line, 917-979-6071. Before I say anything else, Fudge, you pulled out 6 beers before this episode. How many are left right now?
This is like half full, and I've got two unopened.
Dude, you did yeoman's work there for 40 minutes of podcasting, man. I'm impressed.
I mean, I put everything on the line for my team, so just,
You yeoman, you.
yeah.
So please give us a call. And again, you don't need to have a story for us. We just would love to have some feedback from you. We tend to not get a lot of comments on our YouTube videos. We just would love some feedback from anybody, even if it's you guys fucking suck. That's all you got to do. Really, give us a call. Leave it on our voicemail line. We'll send you that awesome.
Maybe not the
HyperX
last
mouse.
thing. That's a little.
Because then we'll just be like, no, you suck. And then
No,
we all
you
suck.
then I'm coming at you, and you say it would be really funny if that's the you suck, and then they have to send us their address, because then I'm just fucking. This is a hand delivery, bitch.
We're all driving to your
We'll
house.
just all show up together and like shake hands and be like, let's go.
It's time to throw down.
Let's commit a minor felony together.
Yeah. So
In
please-
addition to that fabulous HyperX mouse, I'm also going to throw in any one item from our merch store. How does that sound? Any one thing that we have a bunch of stuff in our merch store now. We've got a bunch of shirts. We've got a cool mouse pad. We've got an awesome embroidered hat. We will get that shirt for you in whatever size and color you like. I mean, come on. If you don't have enough reasons to call at this point, I don't know what else we're supposed to do.
And if you wear shirts,
we just can't do a 5XL.
Look at that.
Sorry.
Look at that.
Just one of our many colorful designs. Well, I don't think we have anything else to say, anything more to tell you about. Please do take the time to follow us on our website, edgingthetruth.com. If you're consuming this anywhere but that place, we want to send you there. That's the number one place you can watch this. You can listen to this. All of it can be done on our website. If you're consuming this via Stitcher or Google Podcasts or Spotify or YouTube or any other way, we do appreciate that. But take some time and go to our website. We had a lot of cool stuff there, a lot of information, and ways that you can find each one of us. Again, that's Brian, that's Andy, that's One Lung, and we all have a variety of different things we do on the internet. You can follow each and every one of us individually, and you can follow Edging the Truth on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. We are social media everywhere. Please come out and find us. I think that's all we got to say today, guys. Any last minute adjustments? No. Wonderful.
give a thumbs up.
Yeah,
Give us a subscribe.
we
NBA
really do
playoff
appreciate
winners.
giving those YouTube videos a thumbs up and throwing a comment in there. It really does help us get seen more, that interaction. So it just takes a second. We do hope that you do that.
Rank us hottest to not in the comments. Come on.
Yes,
on.
exactly.
Come on,
Somebody
do it.
come back hot at Fudge. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
seriously.
2 episodes in a row where he's thrown down the gauntlet for you people.
Yeah, you.
Thank you so much for listening.
Are you
to
not
this-
entertained?
Thank you so much for listening to episode 13 of Edging the Truth. We will see you soon.
So,
Brian 69.
Sup?
sub 69.
She sounds cool.
Yeah. Have a good Friday the 13th. So,
Yeah.
I'm leaving all this in.
Visit edgingthetruth.com for more information and links to all our social media and podcast directories.